freedom, nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing to fear anymore. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom.
As the years pass, there is an increasingly distinct group of people who are founding members in one way or another and who've had now many decades of experience of serving this work and life with Swami Kriyananda and many other things, watching Ananda grow from nothing to something. Dhyana is part of that what would I call it, a branch of the family. And she has had every experience almost that Ananda can offer. And I think lived here in this area in the very early years of the work here. She was one of the leaders of the San Francisco ashram. She went from the San Francisco ashram to being a founding member of the work in Italy, and was there when we were trying to do a movement of inner communion with our charismatic Catholic friends. Swamiji kept her in Italy for 7 years, in which she became fluent in Italian, was able to teach with the best of them. Swami then called her back to America, but she took an interlude in Africa for just 5 or 6 weeks to bring Master's teachings for the first time to that continent. Came back to Ananda Village, and I'm not even sure Dhyana almost even knows this, but for a period of time was actually slated to take over from us here. But that, yeah, but she was spared. Or I was cursed. I don't know which way to put that. I'm not even sure you ever heard it. It got that far. But instead, Swami kept her at Ananda village, where she created what we now have as the Kriya ministry. You give Dhyana a direction, and she doesn't stop until it happens. And so after a number of years of that, India started. Swami drew her over to India, told her to learn Hindi, third language, and so she now also teaches in Hindi in India and has been there 15 years, 18 years. Wonderful years, yeah. 12 good years and 18 years total. Okay. But in any case, so it's a lot. And she lived with Swamiji in Italy, of course, at the village and in the starting years of India. So her experience is exceedingly wide and interesting and filled with challenges and victories. And so it's always interesting and, of course, extremely edifying for all of us to feel both the global expansiveness and the power of the individual contribution. So Dhyana and I have been hanging around in this work together for many, many years. I, by contrast, was sent here and have sat here. But fortunately, Dhyana comes in and out, and I travel to where she is. But in the spirit, we've always been sisters, so you know what a joy it is to have you with us.
It's really wonderful to be here. I landed in San Francisco on Sunday afternoon after a very long journey from India, and I was greeted by Lakshmi at the airport, and I came to one of my homes, which is Palo Alto Community, and I was greeted with so much love and energy, and it really touched my heart. And I felt, and I told some of the Guru Bhais here, that I feel like I have a reconnect with Palo Alto. I haven't been here for so long. I've been away in India for about 3 years. Because of COVID, I couldn't come back. But I'm hoping to come often, if it's God's will. And I'm hoping to come here more often. Well, more, let's put it that way. But to look out and see so many friends from decades, really, and to feel the energy here. When I drove into the community, I grabbed Lakshmi's arm and I just said, "It's so peaceful here. Master's vibrations are so strong here." And we may take these things for granted, but we shouldn't. When I came into the Chicago airport, after having been gone for so long, I just said, America is such a great country. There are great souls here. And surely there are difficulties, but you see the energy, the happiness, the efficiency. I just felt, Master said it, America has very good karma. And we take that for granted as well, but we shouldn't. And I've been serving in India and helping to make the bridge between East and West, which is really, what a blessing. Swamiji said he wanted to get Master's, his Guru's name and his work known in the country of his birth. And that's why we went to India. And many of you here came to help there. I'm looking at many people who came in the beginning of the work there. You'll be very happy to see the development, which I'll be showing you with different videos that we made. And also I'll be speaking about the work more after the first video. But I wanted to just really thank you for being here and having this community here, and all the gurbais and the wonderful energy that is coming out of Palo Alto. Is there's a light, there are blessings, there's joy, and we should never take it for granted. So what you all have developed here and what is coming out of Ananda Palo Alto it's helping the whole work. And I'm just so overjoyed to feel that and to feel that in all of you. So I am your sister here, as Asha said, and you'll be seeing more of me, I hope. But also, I'd like to be the link with our Eastern brothers and sisters, and there are so many wonderful souls who you would, I'm just hoping many more can come here. You would love to meet them. And when I went there at the beginning, my very first class, I was just there for, I think, a few hours. And someone knocked on my door and said, "Can you come and give a class?" And I said, "I've just landed here. Isn't there anybody else?" And they said, no, there's nobody. And you know Kriya, it's a Kriya class. And so I put my things aside and I went downstairs to the class. It was all Indians, and I fell in love. I just thought, I know this vibration. I know some of these faces even. And from then on, I just felt I should be here. Master wants me here. He wants this work here. When I asked Swamiji, I said, should I be here or should I go back with the Kriya ministry in America? And he looked at me like I was nuts. And he said, look around. You're desperately needed. And it was at the very beginning of the work. 2005 is when I went. Jaya came and Sadhana came then, Dayan Keshava before that, Hari and Roma around that same time, 2005, 6. And then Swamiji said, after you're desperately needed, he said, and you need a break. And I looked around, break? How am I going to get a break in India? I was telling Asha earlier, you're never alone or lonely in India. There are so many people all the time, and you're well taken care of, you're well fed. People call you at all hours, and there's a wonderful family there that is your family. And when I go there, I tell people there that you have a wonderful family over there. And so more and more, I think there will be an exchange of energies and vibrations and people actually coming back and forth. And so that, by way of introduction, I just wanted to say those few words. And now I think we'll show the first video. And this shows the centers that we have. At the beginning there was 1, and now there are 10. Next year is our 20th year anniversary of Ananda, India. And there are many things that I will share with you that have happened over these many years. So I hope you enjoy this. Then I'll come back and say a few more words. Swamiji spent about 10 years in India, and he planted many seeds there. We're watering those seeds, and they're flowering now. But Swamiji, he was on many television. He had television shows that he made. He spoke to many thousands of people sometimes one program, the one in Chennai, there were 3,000 people there. Many of them, the programs were over 1,000 people. So he reached many souls. We had a store in a big mall where people would come and buy books, and Swamiji went there often. He went around India lecturing, and then he sent those of us who could, he sent us out. And there were 5 or 6 of us who went pretty regularly, like every other month. We were on a plane going somewhere. And first we do the introductory programs. Then we go back and do the level 1 meditation program. So we went to all the major cities, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, Hyderabad. And then we'd go back the next time we'd do the level 2 Raja Yoga programs. And then we go back again and do the discipleship, and then we do the Kriya prep, and then we go back again and do the Kriya. So for the first many years of our time in India, many of us were just going around teaching. And a lot of people had read Autobiography of a Yogi. We asked for a show of hands, and I would say at least 80% of the audience had read audiences, but they didn't know what to do next. And so Ananda came in with a system and with people, live people who are actually living this every day, and it was inspiring. And so people joined in, and then one by one, people started actually helping. For a while, we did everything ourselves. I'm looking at Karpani, who came every year for, I think it was 10 years, to help us to get things started. And we would set up the halls, because we didn't know anybody at first. We would set up the altar, we would get the chairs set up, we would set up the microphone, we would set up the book table, the registration table. We would take the registrations. I remember Jaya would be often on the book tables, and I would often be on the registration with names I didn't know how to spell. Especially the South Indian names are very, very long. And first I'd say, well, how do you say your name? And they're long. And then, well, how do you spell it long? And I'd say, well, why don't you write your name? But then at a certain point, it was time to give the talk. So we also gave the talks. So we did whatever. We wore all the hats. We would ask people for help, and at the beginning, people said, no, I don't want to, and for a variety of reasons. So then often I would go over to Jaya, and I'd say, Jaya, now it's time for the talk. I would give the introduction, he would give the talk. He says, time for the talk? I said, yes, time for the talk. But forget about the books, get up there and give the talk. He would go from selling the books to a deep talk on the Gita, or Patanjali, and I mean, that's only by grace. Many times, or at least a couple of times, Karpani and I were even serving the tea afterwards. And then afterwards, we'd pack up everything, and we'd load up the truck, and people would, I remember one elderly gentleman said, now, Dhyanaji, that was a wonderful talk. Now, I know you're not going to pack up the books and pack up the truck. And I said, just watch me. And what happened is he started helping. People needed to see what is Ananda about. We're about a family, teamwork, doing whatever is needed, jumping in there and making it happen. And I remember another very interesting time when Jaya we had just finished a talk, and there were always a fair number of questions, and good questions, really, very deep. But someone asked, they said, well, what siddhis do you have? I mean, and they wanted to know, how are you standing up there speaking? By what authority? So what powers do you have? And I just looked at Jaya. He's not talking to me. And he said, well, actually, I don't have any powers. You can feel the whole audience was like, what is he speaking? Why is he up there speaking? And so then he said, but wait, I think I have one power. And people were all ears. And he said, the power to be happy at will. Wow. That people were sold. And they came to those classes after that. So that was the beginning. And now what's happened, what's so beautiful is that one by one people started helping, and one by one we started getting centers. And when there was a local person who would be there at the center, who'd left their work and could serve there, everybody came. When it was just us there, the Westerners, and it was few people who came. But as soon as a local person was there, that person was the magnet and everybody came. And so centers started developing one by one, and they were often in people's living rooms. And then, then a bigger center, and then a bigger center happened. And so now there are centers you saw all around India. And there are meditation groups all around. There's home study with Kriyas every month. And it was 25 new Kriya bonds every month for a couple of years. Now it's about 15, every 2 months. But we give Kriya every month. This is online. And then there's the Hindi Sangha. And Kriya, they have 100 Kriya bonds already. It's only started 2 years ago. And there's been Kriyas, I think 10 of them. And by God's grace, I'm able to give those Hindi Kriyas in Hindi. And it's a miracle, honestly. But I'm so happy I can serve in that way. And so that's happening. And where do we go in the future? Well, let me first share with you, then I'll share with you that. Then you can ask questions. But I wanted to share about the publications before I go on and what books we have, because we have books in many different regional languages. And here are some of the books. Affirmations for Self-Healing in Hindi and Tamil. Autobiography of a Yogi, Hindi, Marathi, Punjabi, Gujarati, and Braille. Can you believe that? That you saw there, that big autobiography of a yogi. I think about 20 or 25 of those were made. They were taken to a school for people with impaired sight, and those people were able to read the autobiography of a yogi. No one else has come out with the autobiography of a yogi in Braille. No one. What a gift. What a service. What a blessing. And that was done by Sangeeta, who was in charge of publications. Then the Bhagavad Gita is in Hindi and Marathi. Conversations with Yogananda in Hindi. Demystifying Patanjali in Hindi. The Essence of Self-Realization is in Hindi. So we have gurubhais, devotees who translate. Lessons in Meditation is in Marathi, Hindi, Tamil, Kannada, Gujarati. The Art and Science of Raja Yoga is in Hindi. The Discipleship book is in Hindi. Preparation for Kriya in Hindi. The New Path is in Hindi. And someone told me recently that classes are given, because we give classes in Hindi, Bengali, Tamil, and someone just told me Telugu, which is Hyderabad, the Hyderabad area. So there are classes going on in all these various languages as well. So where do we go in the future? I just wanted to read this list because I don't want to forget anything, and then you can ask questions, we'll go on. The biggest thing that's happened is now those of us who came in the beginning are more in an advisory capacity, and Indians are basically leading the work. It's India. And so there's a strong staff. People have left their jobs, and they're in charge of various centers and departments. And you saw they're in charge of the Ananda Yoga, Ananda Meditation Teacher Training, the school, various things that are happening, that cafe. There's a lot of wonderful souls who stepped up to lead the work in India, who are Indians. And Swamiji in the beginning, he said so many times, at the very beginning, I want Indians leading things here. And we looked around, there was nobody but us. And we said, well, Swamiji, nobody's here. They will come. I want Indians leading it here. And so he would be so happy with this. This is what he wanted. And so our job there now is continuing to support, to encourage, train however we need to, however we can, be in an advisory capacity, but allow people to do the work. We have very bright, very energetic, magnetic teachers, Kriyacharyas, Acharyas, who give the touch of light, the purification ceremony, all Indian. And so this is what Swamiji wanted. It's wonderful that it's actually happening. So where do we go in the future? Many more centers, meditation groups, retreat facilities, of course hybrid classes, some in person, some online. Regional languages, more and better, I would say. Communities, online and in person. They may take, different, be a little different than what we have, but communities are desperately needed. More training and support for those willing to take responsibility, and more international programs, East and West programs. And finally, I'll say, you saw here about the Vrindavan work. Well, Swamiji wanted us to reach out beyond meditation. He wanted us to help people who were underprivileged, impoverished. This Vrindavan program that you saw, it serves widows who've been put out of their homes, and also people who are women who are underprivileged in Vrindavan. There are 4,000 people who we help every day. There's a staff of 70 people who, many of those people couldn't read or write, the staff. We've taught them how to read and write. Now they're on their phone, on apps, taking down the details for each mother, visiting the mother. So we have 4 homes of our own, and there are about over 100 widows who live with us. And Joyita, you'll see in the next videos, she's in charge of that program, is doing a stellar work. And we provide everything. We provide a home, we provide food, we provide clothing, but mainly we provide love. We provide energy. We provide a way that they can uplift their consciousness. Many of them energize. We've taught them energization. They do yoga postures, even from the chair, from the bed. They make things and do things for others. It's not just a handout. And we've said there's one rule that you must follow. You must not beg anymore. You must just be thinking of giving to others. They chant for others, read scriptures and study together and help other people that way. They made things for the local school, for the children. For Diwali, they made diyas. I think it was 2,000 diyas, and gave those to people, lights. And I met a woman who lived in a box. I mean, we just have no idea the life that some people have. It was a wooden box, and she lived on the street in that box. And our staff, this is when Jyotish and Devi ji were there, and I went there, and I used to go every month and just help out in Vrindavan. And it's heartbreaking, really, but their consciousness is just, you'll see, it's just so joyful now, because our goal is not just give food and blankets, but consciousness. How can you uplift yourself and your consciousness? And so this lady, we tried to convince her to come and live in the ashram, one of the ashrams, the 4 ashrams. She said, no. Because what if, she was thinking, what if you put me out of there, at least I have a box. It took about a year to convince her that we weren't gonna throw her out. She'd been thrown out of her house. And so finally, she said, okay, I'll come live there. And totally changed person. And so what did she do at the box? She rented it to somebody else, which is great. But what happened there with her? Masters with every one of those ladies, all 4,000. There's some monastic men as well. And there's a beautiful program. If any of you can be a part of it, they will translate for you, but it's called Circle of Love. And you spend 15 minutes a week talking to one of the mothers. And you just call them. It could be on a Zoom, a Skype, whatever. And as I say, they'll translate for you. But those mothers, they like to talk. And they just keep talking, and they're so happy just to have the connection. And there are 80 people who do that now. It started with 4, maybe 4 months ago. Now I think it's going to be 800 people who are just going to be linked in. And we will go to other cities after Vrindavan. They're talking about Varanasi now. We'll have a seva program, how to do seva, that will come out of Vrindavan, out of the work there. And people will be able to come into that program and then serve in Vrindavan. And so there's a lot happening there. And there's you'll see now, a beautiful work with orphans in Mumbai. And I think it's the Little Angels Orphanage. And Swamiji, he wanted to have an orphanage. He said that in India. He said, just look for the children with the bright eyes. And you'll see all these children. These are the children. They have the bright eyes. And so we don't have an orphanage, but the Mumbai Sangha, the orphanage is around the corner, somewhere near where they are. So they go regularly and help there and take the kids out and bring them over and do all kinds of things with them. And so I think in future you'll see more and more things like that through Ananda. You can't help but see there's such a great need. You can't turn your back and say, no, I'm just meditating. And so we're happy to be able to serve and help people. And we have the means. During COVID, we helped so many people who lost their job or whatever happened, and that was from the help of many of the Western family, the Western Guru Bhais. People sent donations over because there was so many people passed away and lost their job or whatever. And I was so happy Ananda could really help people when they were in need. And we will see more and more things like that. So yes, we're there spreading Master's message, his teachings, his techniques, but we're spreading his love, his vibrations, and that touches everybody. And you'll see in this next set of videos, you'll see some fun things there. And then afterwards, if you have questions, I'm happy to try to answer them.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. We would like to invite you to the Ananda India online community.
This community began in May 2020, and it's really been a joy for us to see so many people, including ourselves, benefit so much from the offerings and the opportunity to dive deeper in the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda.
I have never been to a physical Ananda center, and it has never felt like I have not met all of you that I can see on stage.
Every week we come back together, and there is a real power to this that really surprises me. I'm kind of in awe of it.
This is the Mumbai program with the orphans.
What we have here, and has been created by Narayani and Shurjo and the team, is the type of place that Swamiji would go to. It embodies all of those qualities that Swamiji embodied. He liked
Nayaswami
refinement,
Dhyana.
things that were done well, craftsmanship, a beautiful environment. He appreciated ambition, and these were also qualities that Master appreciated. And so when you can bring all of those elements to a focus, it turns into not just a cafe, but a work of art. We are creating something beautiful, but there also is a higher purpose. I can predict people are going to come here and they're going to feel something, and they're going to see a representation of Ananda Sangha. Isn't that our mission as Ananda Sangha, to touch people one soul at a time? It's not necessarily the cafe, it's going to be the vibration. That little bit of a heavenly experience will change people.
This is in Vrindavan with the widow mothers. The monks were there.
I'm just back from our time in Vrindavan serving those widow mothers there, and I would really like to encourage everyone to go visit them and serve. They were so appreciative of everything that we did. We chanted with them,
Jaita, who's
we
in
ate
charge.
with them, we played games with them. And what was very inspiring for me was going to their rooms where they lived. They have tiny little rooms where they lived, some of them. We cleaned their rooms, swept, scrubbed. They were so appreciative, so joyful, and it created such a beautiful bond with them. So I would like to encourage you all to come do this sometime. I think you'll find it deeply moving, and this really is something great that you can do to give to those who really are on the outskirts of society until they were invited in by the Paramhansa Yogananda Charitable Trust and the great souls who are serving there.
So questions anybody might have? Let's move this over to the side. Oh, okay. They'll bring... They'll bring the mic over to you. Okay.
it was just so inspiring to see all of this. I always, when you do a satsang, I always find myself asking about the stamina and the energy that you have to do it. I know you're going to say, oh, it comes from Master, yes, yes, but tell us more about the stamina and the energy that you have to do this.
Well, is this being recorded? Well, we were there with Swamiji in the beginning, and it was his magnetism, as those of you who were there knew, and it was, we were starting a whole work in India, and it was a lot of chaotic energy, but it was, you knew something was happening and something was trying to be born, and it wasn't easy. But you just kept, Swamiji was the model and the example, and he just kept moving forward, and he didn't want to hear about any things you were going through. It was like he just he kept pointing to that pole star. Let's move. He was a general. He was moving the army forward, and you kept up as best as you could. Sometimes you dropped out a little bit, but then you just kept going. And I found that I had more energy when I said yes than when I said no. That was basically it. And I just tried my best. And I think that, many of us were confused when we got there. We didn't know people, we didn't know the language. We were used to certain comforts, and we missed our friends, and there was a lot going on, but then Master was just, you could feel through Swamiji, Master was saying, this is more important than anything you can think of or want to do. This is why you were born. And you felt that. And the more you said yes, the bigger your aura got. That's what I found. And the more energy and strength. And there were times I was not wanting to go back. I'll be perfectly honest. And I used to say, America's my home. I'm going back home. But now, America's not my home. India is my home. Now that took about 10 years to get to that point, but India is my home, and I visit America. But I went through enough growing experiences to get to the point where it was so obvious that the ones who were there, we were supposed to be there. And when Swamiji left his body, he passed that baton. And he said, I'm placing people in positions who can carry on the work when I'm gone. That's why I brought you here. It was very clear. There was no vagueness about it. And so when he left, you felt a responsibility. Now, what did you feel besides the responsibility? You felt he was working through you. His thoughts, energy, magnetism. And it's very interesting, but after Swamiji left his body, before that, it was like, there was so much happening, you couldn't figure it out. There were many ups and downs and tests and, tapasya. To get anything started worthwhile, Swamiji said there's got to be tapasya. That was there. And when Swamiji left his body, it seemed like he took a lot of that karma on himself, and the work in India started really taking off. And it was more smooth, believe it or not. And it has been since. Many doors have opened, people have come in to help, finances have come, everything has just gotten so much better. So I think he was there during the period of really pioneering, starting. And I also feel that Swamiji's Delhi project, which he started in the 50s, I think it will come up. He wanted to have a beautiful place with a temple, ashram, beautiful gardens, water bodies and places where people can come and study and all, an institute. And we may get that and through a particular channel that's opening up. I think all these things will happen in time, but we just you try to keep focused. The other thing is you need breaks. That's why I came here. It's an attunement break. I come here to get more in tune. I come here to relax as well, but when I'm with Guru Bhais here, I'm just being fed. And and it's like a thermometer. The energy just keeps rising, rising, rising. Then time to go back. And you stay there and you serve. But I don't think anybody there thinks it's any different than people serving here or people serving in Europe or wherever they may be. It's our path, and it's what works. And so everyone has some role to play. You have to do something. And ours just happens to be on the front lines. And I wouldn't be anywhere else than where I am in India. I wouldn't be anywhere else. I've gotten to the point where it's obvious I should be there, and so many wonderful things are happening, and it's a blessing. It's a deep privilege. But when I came here, I walked with Shanti, I walked with Asha, and I just told them, you have to excuse me, but I was just saying, look how beautiful, look at those flowers, and I was, the air. I felt healthier from, the environment. So, but we're living by God's grace. If we're supposed to be there, we'll be there. I've never been ill there. I have air purifiers in every room. And all that. I take care of myself. I have a good diet. I live in a nice area and all that. There's lots of trees and all. But honestly, it's what you said. We're in Master's bubble. It's his work. And he said, Swamiji said, it's not yours, it's not my work, it's Master's work, and it's Babaji's work. Just trust in them. And I think that's what we're doing. There are very great souls who came to help Swamiji in India. I saw them coming. He just kept calling out, and there are more and more people. Now, many of them are leading centers. Devendra is leading a center. Amit Purohit, some of you may know him. He's leading a center, the new center in Chandigarh. There are Shama and Vasudev, they're leading a center. And there's a variety of people. Dr. Aditya, Brahmacharya Aditya, many of you met him. He's leading a center. And, they're all Swamiji's children. They're Master's children, Swamiji's children. And they came to lead that work. So, and I think that's the best answer I can give to that. I hope that's helpful. I don't have any more stamina than anybody else. I need breaks too, and time with friends and times to recharge. So, anyone else? Now, if this was India, all the hands would be up. Every hand would be up. Yes.
I can hardly speak. I can hardly talk. I'm so full of love right now. I just feel it in this room. Is there anything that, any kind of an exchange that we can offer to India, or India can bring to us, any kind of offering that we could give, and that they could give to us? Do you see any closer collaboration?
Yes, and how that's going to work, I'm not really sure, but we have people who would love to come here and just be here for some months, just here, Ananda Village, and I think people here should go there and be there for a while. I know many of you have come and spent time there, but it's a big help when people come from here. So I think people actually coming and people from here going there. That's the beginning of that merging of East and West. And otherwise, online, you can be there anytime, and people watch the programs from here. I know you all watch the programs from there, and so that's happening, and that will help a lot. I think more and more will develop over time naturally. There's a natural bond between here and India. It's just natural. And people feel quite at home. You know, there's a large Indian population here in America. There are many Westerners who are in India now. The area I live in, Jorbag, it's people from the embassies. A lot of Westerners live there. So I think it's happening naturally, and but it's nice to be a part of that exchange. So you'll see more of the leaders in India coming over here, visiting. You saw Jamal here. He was here for some time, and Devarshi's coming next week, I believe. Pia Singh is coming for a week, but that's up at the village. Who else? Blazy from Pune, she's here right now up at the village. And you're going to see, now that things are opening up, you'll see a lot more of your family from there coming here visiting. So, yeah.
If someone from the West here, from the US, wants to go to India, are you the person to contact? Wants to go and help?
Yeah. I can at least get you to the right person, but do come. You're most welcome.
You mentioned in passing, and I think I'm not going to let that slide through, that Swami's vision for Delhi may be happening through a certain channel, and then you moved right on. Can you speak about that a little bit?
Well, there is a person who's involved with us who, her family has property in Delhi, a large piece of property, and right now there's a temple on it and some places to live, beautiful grounds, but that's been in the works for about 4 years, and it was stuck, and then COVID happened, but now it's getting unstuck. And she recently spoke to someone who has the power to help give that property, so we're praying about it. So if that happens, wow, we'll really be on the map, because now we have centers, but we don't have a village. We don't have an Ananda village. We don't have any headquarters. We just have centers all over. And those will multiply, but we need some place where everybody can come. And I think the place is Delhi. That's where Swamiji wanted to be. So you'll hear more about that as it develops. Anyone else? Yes.
Hi. So good to see you again.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question. So right now, how does the cross-pollination between the Ananda centers happen without like a central area for them to gather? Is it just when they come to the US and they get to meet and exchange more with the other Ananda center in India?
Within India, it's called Zoom. Everybody's on Zoom. And during the pandemic years, we were on so much. All the centers had many, many programs in yoga, meditation, chakras, all kinds of classes. And so it really brought the India work together more, because people could see others. There would be breakout rooms you get in, and you'd talk with people from Chennai, and would talk with people from Delhi, and on and on. And that was really wonderful. And so now a lot of people know each other because we're all on those Zoom programs all the time. And you can get up to, I remember one day I was on 6 programs. I didn't give 6, I gave a couple of them, but even for me, that was too many. I said, that's too much Zoom in one day. But people have the opportunity now. There are so many classes online, and people will go to the center, their own center's classes, but they also go to other centers' classes. So that wasn't happening before Zoom. So now that's happening and people are coming together. And also we have retreats with different acharyas, and Jyotish and Deviji come once a year. They haven't been, these years, but we have big programs where everybody comes and spends a weekend together. And then people get around. Like when Jyotish and Deviji were up in Delhi from the south, I think there were like 30 people from Chennai who came up because they wanted to be there with them and the different Gurubhais and Gurgaon. So people travel. They get around. People go to Pune for programs, they go to Mumbai for programs. Now, this was all pre-COVID, but it will happen again. So it's a good question. Otherwise, people are just in one spot, and yeah, that's changed now. Yes. Please say your name too. Nice to see you.
My name is David.
Hi.
It's a pleasure. It was curious that you said you came here for to get more attuned when you're there on the Master's homeland. Can you talk more about that? And is that how the devotees in India feel as well? Do they want to come to LA in a pilgrimage rather than go to Master's?
I think it's individual. People can do. I can also be there. And there's a retreat place I go to relax and to meditate more. That's up in the Himalayas, which is wonderful. I could be there now. But I wanted to see all of you as well. So coming here, it's seeing friends. It's being up at the Ananda village, meditating in Swamiji's house, the Moksha Mandir, and seeing all the tulips, and it's being in a very highly charged spiritual environment. That's the difference. See, I could go to one of the centers and be there, but they're all small. You come here, this is huge, and this is a lot of people, and we're out teaching for the most part, and so you're just out there. Maybe there's 1,000 people, but it's just you with those people. And here you come, and we're a family. So you gain a lot from just being with other peers, Gurubhais, people who you've known for years. I mean, there's people here I've known for 30 years, and they're my family. So you feel an attunement, but also what I feel is this: I just receive so much from people. And then I go back and I give that over there. And then when it gets empty, I come back. So I hope that's helpful. Yeah. Are we doing good on our time?
Depends how long you have. I have a question. The vast majority of us here tonight we're Kriya Bonds. We're also, a lot of us are sadhakas and sevakas. In fact, there's even a group here we're currently in a sadhaka prep class.
Yes.
Which works really well for us to not only find a way to serve and deepen into these teachings, but really get into that renunciation in a suburban environment. I know you have centers rather than communities. Is it still too early in India, or are those kinds of efforts for...
Oh, great. I'm so glad you asked that. We started a sadhaka program last year, and there are about 120 people from around India, core people from each center in that program. So we give classes to the whole group several times a year, and then the center leaders give the other classes in between. But it's a wonderful program, and it's got the core members in it, and they're getting deep training in, how to be on this path, how to have right attitudes, right behavior, how to meditate more deeply, how to serve. And so, yeah, there's a lot of people just like you who are in a sadhaka program. Now, they've only been in it for a year, And it could go on for a while. We don't know how long it's going to go on, but they're very dedicated, and people on the front lines who are serving. So yeah, we just had that, and we're going to be starting a living discipleship program there as well. In some of the centers, and then ultimately it'll probably be an all Pan-India program too. So yeah, there's some people who've been with us since the very beginning, since 2003. There are people who've been there, Kriya Bandhs who've been Kriya Bandhs for 10, 15, almost 20 years. So they're deep souls. And I remember one class I've learned a lot since I've been there, but one class I was telling people, now this is how you sit when you meditate. So when I looked out, everybody was in the full lotus for the most part. Wow. I said, I don't think I need to show you how to sit when you meditate. So a lot of things they're just very natural for them. And questions are very deep. And I think the experiences are very deep. When I lived in Italy, Italy was more heart. When I got to India, India was depth. Stillness, calmness, depth. And that's, if you would ask me what I got from India, that's what I got. So, okay, or any more questions? Yes, please, Jyoti. Jyoti I've known from Zoom, right? But I didn't know I knew her. I didn't know I knew her until she wrote me, and now we're meeting in person.
Thank you, Dhyanaji, for that. I'm tuned in every Tuesday to your class, so I get to see you in person today, so thank you for that. So I had this question on...
the mic.
Oh, sorry. I had this question on, in India there's a strong family hold. So do you see more communities coming up in India? Would they be willing to move into like what we have here?
I was just looking at the community. It's so beautiful here. I think people would in time. I think it will take more time. Right now we have, you saw Ananda Pune, that was like that apartment complex. There are about, I think 8 or 10 people, all from Ananda Pune, core members who lived there in different apartments. They've practically taken over the whole building. Now that works. Everyone has their own place, but they have sadhana together, they have classes together and all that. So that's one model that works. Online community, you saw that, that's big. People love it. And there are, I don't know, a lot of people, I think 70 on the online community that are active. So that works, that's a community. Buying property, now the monks are going to have a wonderful place there. And that's the first one of, first monastery where we have property, where it's going to have a temple and places to live, kutirs, they have a beautiful design. That's a community, now that works. Now, for other things, I think people need to experience community by coming to a center, by maybe living nearby and coming a lot, in different ways, because people don't, it's not a natural thing in a way. It's a natural thing for them to live with their family, their grandparents and their parents and their children and maybe the brother and his wife and the kids, but to just leave your family and go live in a community where none of your relatives are. Maybe they bring their relatives, but that's a big step. You know, we can't push people into that. So the more people are with the energy and the vibration of the centers and online and all, they love it. But to actually break out and go and move, that's going to take some time. And I think there's a group of people who would do that, but it's not going to be nothing like in America. In America, it's like natural. Italy is that way. India is different. I think the model will be different. What it will be, I'm not sure. I think the apartment idea is one that will happen. But let's see. People are getting more and more, how can you say, a community anyway, even though we don't have land and all. But we need to have that model. So let's see. India's young still, 20 years, not a long time. Yeah. And thank you all who have come there and who've prayed for India and who will be coming. It's still a new work, and to have your support and encouragement and energy, it means a lot. Yeah, you have a question?
From the little that I know of India, there are a number of celebrations during the year. I think just recently they celebrated Holi, which isn't that the day of color or something? Is that correct?
Yes, it is. I stay inside on Holi.
Well, I was about to ask, how does Ananda balance the cultural celebrations with our path?
There are, I think, more holidays in India than anywhere else in the world. There's always a holiday. And I used to get so kind of bothered by that because I'm kind of a workaholic. And then people say, no, it's a holiday. I said, when do people work here? And then the next week, there's another holiday. And many of them are India-wide, they're national holidays. And many of them are very sacred holidays. So we celebrate as many as it seems like we should celebrate. Diwali, it's a wonderful occasion. I used to fight it, but then I just gave in. I said, well, everybody's on holiday, I'll do it too. But I think we go with the ones that seem right. Then you add all the gurus, birthdays and Mahasamadhis. We have a lot of holidays in India. And I say, it's amazing that we get so much done. But, you have to honor, we're in India, you have to honor those special days. And it seems to work out. Some of them you don't, like I don't participate in Holi. I'm happy about it, yes, but I don't go out. So it's up to the individual. So, okay. Any last questions? Oh, in the back. Your good name?
Paddy. I'm a sadhaka. I'm in the sadhaka pre-class.
Hi.
Paddy, or Padmapani for you.
Hi.
You can pronounce the whole thing. My question was, in your video, there was a very passing mention on Ananda pilgrimages.
Yes.
It's a beautiful shot of Varanasi.
Yes.
Brought tears to my eyes. Can you elaborate more on how Ananda pilgrimages work in India? Because it's a brilliant way of outreach.
Great.
For people like my parents, right? Like they would go. Whether they know about Ananda or not, as the poem says, the proper study of mankind is man. Proper study of Ananda is being in the midst of Ananda members on a pilgrimage. So, thoughts on that?
Good question. Yeah, we've been running pilgrimages for a long time in India. I think at least, I don't want to say the years because it's probably longer, but mainly since the beginning. And Daya and Keshava Tyagis, they run those pilgrimages out of Delhi, and they go to many of the holy places. They just came back from meditation in caves in Rishikesh. They just came from Puri. They go to Varanasi, many of the places, and they have lots of people who come. 25, 30, maybe more people who come. And so those will continue, and everyone's welcome. So your parents or whomever, they're welcome to come. And you're right, it's an experience. It's not just going to the holy place, but it's with the group, meditating. You saw them energizing at the beach and doing yoga. Then they have meals together. They have silence together. Babaji's cave. Wow. If you haven't gone there, please do. They go there every year. And people love those pilgrimages. And typically there's a group that goes every time on every pilgrimage. So, and if you're there, you're welcome to join in on the pilgrimages too. So they do about, I want to say 6 or 8 a year. And they're very, very, very popular. So the thing you want to do is sign up quickly if you'd like to go. Yeah. There are people that really enjoy them though. Meditating together in Babaji's cave, wow, can't beat that. Yeah. Okay. Shall we close then? Okay. So why don't you all stand and let's just visualize. You've seen these beautiful faces, all the centers, the Brindaban work, the Mumbai orphanage, the new cafe in Mumbai, the monks' property, Delhi Center, West Delhi, Noida, Gurgaon, up in the north, Pune, Mumbai, Chandigarh, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chennai. And think of those who you know who are serving in India. Let's ask God and Guru's blessings on this wonderful part of Ananda's work and all of our Guru Bhais serving there. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Many blessings to you all. So nice to be here with you all. God bless you.